Welcome back to Taco Bowler Gaming. My name is Taco Bowler, and we're going to be here with another timeline video. This is, of course, my timeline videos are in conjunction with the League of Average Gaming, which you should see a link down to their channel in the description below. But we are going to look today at my Empire of Mann run and see how that went and explored there. So we're going to begin as quick as we can, and I'll kind of describe what's going on. So I released Mann, which I did release Mann from Mann, but I released Mann and I fed them the Pale, and then I began to feed them Ireland and portions of Scotland. I didn't have to feed them all of Scotland, but portions of Scotland. And then I simply released them. So actually I feed them a little bit of land here. And then at this point, I will integrate them, and then I will release them. So you see no real change here. I didn't want them to get too strong, so they would challenge me. You have to start as England for this run. I didn't want to get them too strong, but also didn't want to give them nothing at all. So when I finished integrating them, I'm going to explain what happens here. So when I finished integrating them, I released Wales, Cornwall, which is like just this one or maybe two down here, and Northumberland, and fed them what you see here. And then I released Mann and clicked play as. So what I have effectively done is I've actually divided the British Isles into 5 parts, of which Mann, which is me, is the largest. So then it's just a matter of making sure that I have the right troops and things like that, so that I wind up coming out on top in this kind of Game of Thrones that we will see between England, Northumberland, Wales, Cornwall, Scotland, and Mann. So I've actually divided it into 6, of which Mann is the largest. That is what I recommend doing. The League of Average Gaming did do a run as Mann, and they, in that he fed Mann a lot of stuff, and that's one way to do it. He had a very stressful time in the independence. I did not wind up having that stressful time. You can judge for yourself how is best, but I recommend this way. I think it's also, I did also release Normandy, Gascony, all of these people as well. At the Surrender of Maine event, I just gave Maine to France. And then I would actually, right before I ended with England, I think I gave Normandy, I think I just released them from their vassalage. I would also like to point out that Austria here got the inheritance, and that will become a major thing at the end. We got support for independence from France for sure, and I want to say from some other people as well, but definitely France, and that made the war pretty easy, all things considered. We get independence. We didn't take any land in the independence, so we didn't have to give any to our allies in the French, and then it's just a matter of fighting off the other people. So you see I attacked Northumberland, Cornwall will attack Wales, I'll attack Scotland up here, and it's just a matter of trying to get as quickly as I can, keep the upper hand over our rivals, and ultimately win the day. The other thing I am doing whilst I am trying to take over the British Isles is that I am trying to colonize, and I do ultimately get enough colonial range to get up to Greenland and begin to colonize. This is something that I think more people should lean on as free real estate, free force limit, free money is the colonial game. Trying to play that colonial game, even though I did not need Greenland, I did need Newfoundland and some of these islands over here in the Canadian region, but I wind up playing colonial all over here. So you can see I finished off Scotland, and soon I will finish off Cornwall. I do also attack Denmark pretty quickly and begin eating the islands I need from Denmark. You see I'll begin to colonize as well over here in Newfoundland. So you see I attacked England successfully. And that's all I'm trying to do, right? Is just consolidate power, attack the people I need to attack, and colonize, and try and just build up a power base and become as strong as I can before we turn to the rest of the world. So I have finished off Denmark here. And I actually took this island as well, intending it to be a staging ground that ultimately I don't think I ever actually used. I think I attacked Denmark from another way when I actually attacked, but it was a good idea while it lasted. Cornwall, I think I vassalized Cornwall and fed them whales and things so I didn't have to core it. And so we have all the British Isles. We will soon take these islands from Denmark over here. You see this one, and then the one from Sweden, this one here, and then obviously their capital region here. We'll take all of that, and then we turn south, and we start looking at Portugal, which has these islands here, and Castile, which has these islands here. Now you notice how big France has gotten, and they were a ally, and that was such a wonderful thing, and then Austria starts to cause problems. And Austria actually allied with Castile, and they will cause some massive problems for France and actually push them back significantly. You'll notice the revolutionary France in the tooltip. They will eventually go revolutionary. They have a lot of problems. See, I start to take some islands from Denmark. I've also begun to colonize into other portions of Canada, and I let them go. I have attacked Portugal here, and I have taken over here and have created a colony in the Caribbean. You do have to have all of the Caribbean, and I did take Azores as well, and I took some of these lands down here so that I can grow in the south. Created the Center Islands instead of the West Indies. It's kind of the Center Islands, and I will eventually attack for Portuguese land over here as well. I've, at this point, decided to get down here to South Georgia and beginning to turn the tide. We got this for colonial range, but we tried to turn around both continents, and I actually had all my colonists going to extend both west and east around here. See, I've already gotten to the east, and here's me in the west, trying to get around the world by going on actually both sides and slowly closing in on the islands here. I thought that you have to actually own everything yourself. The achievement says, as man, conquer all the islands in the world. I don't actually own it all by the end, so I don't know if it's just you or your non-tributary subjects can own it, but I will ultimately vassalize and march Brunei and feed them a lot of stuff over here. And I think I actually vassalized Emirna as well and fed them Madagascar, so I didn't have to worry about the unrest there. But we also create East Coast bias here. Let's see, what did I name? Islands of Kindness. These islands here, and then Center Islands, and then gave up on the naming scheme. I also attempted to take Australia, and so you see I'm here. I have to take New Zealand, but I wanted to take Australia. I don't think I ever successfully got all of it, but I do get most of it. You see I'm already over here on Indonesia, 1651, and we're going to have to fight Castile. I knew that, but still didn't like the idea of fighting Castile, but they took over some lands, so it is what it is. Now you'll notice that this looks like it's Castile. It's not. The Indians went colonial, the actual Indians from India, and I decided to fight them off. I had to fight them for these islands here, and they had the Maldives as well, so I had to fight them eventually, and I will take Australia from them there. I also had to fight Castile, obviously, for this, and I wound up just fighting Castile for fun in a lot of other places as well. And you'll see I will take over Louisiana at some point very quickly. I'm also, slowly colonizing these areas. Took some land over here, took some land from here. This was a Ming explosion. This was in 1.29, so this was in the Manchu patch. One of the few times I actually had a Ming explosion when I actually cared. what was happening in Ming. Um, but yeah, and we've landed on Japan as well, slowly eating up some of this land. And this was about the point where I was like, man, there's so much islands left to go. I just don't know if I'm going to get it done. I've got to fight the Ottomans off, but then, catch a break or two and just steamroll to the end to get done a lot faster than I thought in 1732. You see, I took Louisiana, Houdat Nation. So we made Houdat, and then I have to take some of these islands too, so I had to make one in Cascadia, which I named, we'll find out here in a moment. Russia actually took that, so I would fight them, I'm pretty sure. I named it Too Far West. I don't know if I actually ever fought Russia, or if I actually cared, because I didn't need that land. Just needed the islands. Probably did. Maybe I had them fight it for me. Sounds more like what I would do. There it was. Yep. I don't think I ever took New Castile over, but I did try and take a lot of this area in North America because it's free real estate and it's extra stuff, extra force limit and things like that. So at this point, it was pretty much just getting these last few islands. The last island I needed was this one, Zanzibar, and then waiting for it to core, and we're done with our game. I forgot about this one, so I had to actually, I think I threatened for that one. I made a claim for it and just threatened them, and they yielded. But that was my Empire of Man game. We'll go ahead and go here. You can see that we have Brunei as a march, and Ermina is a vassal. And then we have all of these other territories. We have all the islands over here. See the achievement here, Empire of Man. Let's take a look. Let's see what... only 381 income in 1732. I could be doing a lot better on these incomes, but oh well. So the ideas I took, we took administrative for the coring cost, and then we took exploration to begin our colonialism. We would eventually take expansion as well. We wanted to take a military idea. Quality was the choice. We would later take offensive, and finally humanist was being done just pretty much for rebellions because I didn't want to deal with them. But that was the end of the game. Fun game. The beginning of it is a lot of fun. Partitioning up England and taking over is a lot of fun there. But ultimately, it wound up, the different people you have to fight and the power bases and things that you have or don't have really does wind up taking a toll. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I would recommend at least playing as England. If you don't partition things up and play as Man, at least play as England, because fighting that island game and kind of owning the islands over here is a lot of fun and a nice power trip. Well, last thing I'll point out here is this. Austria, which by the way did not revoke the privilege. They just have one reform that got passed. Still took over all of the stuff from France. You saw how powerful France was there for a little while, just getting shoved back. And they're at another war with... Who are they at war? They're at war with Castile, and then... they're attacking. Ooh. Yeah, but they're at war with Castile, Aragon, and all of that. Castile no longer even needs Austria's help. So the French had a good game, and then they blew it. And they didn't call me into this war, so sorry. I do think they're still my ally, though. Yeah, they're still my ally. Brunswick is my ally. But this was my Empire of Man run. I hope you have enjoyed reliving this with me, or living this with me. This was done completely off stream and off video. But if you did enjoy these timeline videos, please do watch the rest of them in the playlist that's on the screen in the end screen. And go check out the League of Average Gaming as well, as there's a lot of fun videos that he has posted over there, including his own Empire of Man run, which he did on stream. So you can check that out over there. I'll probably link to that playlist as well in the description. I've been Thic Borders Gaming, and I'll see you next time.